Good day, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic first and a good Friday. My Friday, my first of the year, started out. Yes, I'm sitting on the floor, which is odd. The alliterations of F's and the alliterations of M that's going to be in the title of this video. So Planet Smoothie, I had to get up normal time. We didn't have anyone come in for the first hour and a half, so I was there earlier than I needed to be. But oh well. So I left the party, the New Year's party, and came home as quick as I could. I filmed my video for the last time. Today's actually Saturday that I'm filming this. I waited all day because I got a little busy during the day hanging out. But I'll tell you about that in tomorrow's vlog, which is actually going to go up at the same time, and I'm going to film it right after this. And yeah, I'm sitting on the floor. Just want to try a different angle. This might not work very well, but oh well. So after Planet Smoothie, came home. Didn't really like any shut-eye or anything like that. I thought I would want to, but I was fine. So I watched a few videos, and then went over for a Mafia party on the 1st. It was interesting what happened, and I'm gonna get to the last game. I'll try to make sure I leave plenty of time for that, because that was the one that inspired the title of this video, and it definitely deserves an explanation if I can give one, because it was a very confusing game. Let's go to the first game of the night. The first game of the night, we get enough people. We literally have just enough people to start a game, and we're about to start a game, and then some people come in, and more, and more, and more, and more, and more. Suddenly we've doubled in number, and we have too many people, so we have to make 2 games. So it's decided that the experienced players will go outside, the inexperienced players will stay inside. So all of the experienced players go outside except one. He ignores the rules and stays inside. And then we wind up with one inexperienced person outside. And that'll be important, because apparently this inexperienced person picks up the game really quickly, and I missed out on it. Because I was in the experience game, of course. So we started this game of about 15 people, maybe like 12 or 13. And I'm the cop. And as it turns out, I'm the only cop in the game, I find out. So I wake up, I'm like, where's the other cop? He's like, it's just you. I'm like, it's just me? Oh man, this sucks. So I choose someone to investigate, and I decided to choose someone that usually flies under the radar most of the game. So I point to him, and I get told, yes, he is Mafia. And so I'm like, alright, now how am I going to present this information without immediately coming out as the cop and forcing the nurse's hand, which I don't want to do. Although it turns out, based on who the nurse was, it probably would have worked. Because, I mean, we were all experienced, so it should have been expected that it would work anyways. But I wake up and told immediately that I was the first victim of the Mafia, and I was killed. Bummer. So I just get up, and I said to go and see how the other game's going, because I know it's going to be a lot more interesting to watch a whole bunch of inexperienced players play the game out. I come inside to find out that they had just had one death as well, and it was the cop, the only cop in that game. So, wow, Mafia struck and took out the only 2 cops in 2 separate games on the first night. That was just crazy that happened. So I came in, I started watching the game. The one experienced player, which stayed in with a whole bunch of new people. A few people had some experience, just not nearly as much as this person. And this person was Mafia. This person was, in fact, the framer of the Mafia. We get through, I think, a day and a half, maybe another night cycle. And then the lynching comes, and they decide they think it's him, they take him out, and he's revealed as the framer, and he's taken out of the game. So I knew that if he was town, the Mafia would have taken him out, probably almost right away, if not right away. Because I think a lot of the people knew he was experienced, so they would have wanted him out, so everyone else has some even playing. So that to me was a giveaway that he was Mafia, and I would have figured that out probably, but when I walked in the door, Mafia was awake and he was awake, so I didn't get a chance to. I'm wasting way too much time on this game that I wasn't even part of. I made an observation during the game that one of the new people was really on the ball. She was really observant, very analytical in what she was coming up with and figuring things out. And then when the game ended, she just wanted to talk about it, which is something very much that I mean, a lot of people want to talk about it, but the things she was coming up with was very analytical, very much the kind of things that I catch, the kind of things that a very few, but a couple of other players would catch and want to watch for. So I knew if I played with her that we'd have to watch. And if I was Mafia, I have to watch out. So we started a game after that one ended. The experienced player game went a lot longer because they were just second guessing everything every time. But this game went through pretty quick. I think the Mafia wound up winning. So we go into it again. I'm sitting right next to the other experienced player. There's not really, I think maybe a third player comes in that's experienced. No, four. There were 4 experienced players in this game. One of them was the moderator of the last game. He's playing this time. Someone else who was outside and got killed early. And so we have 4 experienced players. And then we wake up. I'm Mafia. I am in fact the framer. And we find out that the other 3 experienced players are all Mafia as well. This isn't going to turn out well. The other 2 are Yakuza, and the guy from the last game was the seducer. And this was interesting, and I kind of felt a little bad about what happened. But for 3 nights, I knew, and I talked to him about, we got to watch that one person, that one new person. Because I don't know how it's going to happen. So he decides he's going to seduce her the first night so she can't do anything. During the next day cycle, she reveals that she's a role and that she wasn't able to wake up to do her role. And that's not the thing you want to reveal, so that was a rookie mistake. We go to sleep. She gets seduced again because you can seduce several times. Same person in a row over and over if you want to. And so she gets seduced again, and she is frustrated. Lets us know once again she was seduced. Other rules come clear to us. We figure out who one of the cops are because they come forward. A cop comes forward, and so we know that and they said that they investigated this person that we were seducing, so we knew she wasn't a cop. Through a process of elimination during that day with people talking a little too much, again, rookie mistakes, we figured out she was the nurse, which meant we wanted to kill her as soon as we could, and with the seducer in play, we could make it so she couldn't wake up, again, 3rd time in a row, and she wouldn't be able to save herself. And so we did exactly that. And she was noticeably, visibly frustrated, which made us feel kind of bad about it. It's like, oh man, she really loves this game, and we didn't let her play at all, really. But it's what we needed to do as Mafia. And so we killed her, we seduced her so she couldn't save herself, and game moved on. It was kind of a blur after that. Those are the specifics I remember. But needless to say, with 4 experienced players on the Mafia, the town didn't really have a chance. We get a Yakuza strike on the cop. The other cop tells that it happened, making a mistake of coming forward, which meant we actually went along and let the person we turned, who was the cop, get killed. And then we did something. We then killed the other cop because she came forward as the other cop. And that was it. Cop, no cops left. No nothing left. We were down to, like, there weren't any guns. There were seducer was happening. There was a fool in play, so we got near the end of the game. We were trying to figure out who the fool was. And I don't remember. It was tricky because we were like literally getting less and less, and the fool was something. So we even considered trying to just take out the fool and get the town to do the same thing, kind of have a truce with the town. I don't think the fool wound up winning. I think we wound up taking out the right person. Yeah, we did. We took out the right person, leaving an even enough number to where the fool couldn't pull it off, basically. And Mafia won again. This time I was on the winning team. I don't remember what happened on the outside as far as who won. That game just got lost on me. Like I said, I left it right away for the more interesting game inside. There were a couple more games. I am having a hard time pulling the next game out. It was a long one. Oh yeah, that's what happened. It was a long one. I was a townsperson, just a regular townsperson, and we had some inexperienced players making some rookie mistakes. I asked one of the other players what they thought. They pointed someone out. I looked at that person. I asked them if they're Mafia. They had a cup up in front of their face. They were kind of hiding it. And they were just kind of like shaking their head yes or no. I'd asked the same question to her in the previous game, and she gave me a straight answer without any hesitation because she was in fact Town. So she said it and it was true. So I was like, she's playing differently. Gotta watch out for this. So then the other person, the one who went after her, got killed. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching. So I just kept watching her. But during the next night, I heard the person sitting right next to me make noises with his mouth when he was moving, like he was trying to communicate without speaking by making his mouth move the right way, which might make something like that happen. So we woke up. I immediately told everyone we voted him out. Boom. There was a point along the way where people started to think it was me, and I pointed out I got rid of him. I then pointed things back on the other person I was watching. So we had things like the cops were getting lucky guessing, and then they were pointing. We were doing symbols and stuff at night, which we didn't ban this time. So there was pointing going on, and Batman followed the cops' lead and killed each person that the cops investigated and found was Mafia every time, and it was right every time. And with the cops doing that on top of me nailing 2 other Mafia, Town didn't have a chance. Or Mafia didn't have a chance. Town won. There may have been another game. I honestly don't remember at all specifically if there was or not. Oh, that's right. We wanted to talk about that game. Another game started without us. They didn't come in and say, hey, we're starting a game or anything. So a game started outside with almost everybody in the game. So we had to stand around and just kind of wait and talk about the last game and other ideas we had for new roles and old games we played, remembering things like when we played Mafia versus Town, 2 different Mafias, things like that. We just talked and remembered and just talked about Mafia. So I gotta hurry up and finish this, which is too bad because, no, it's not too bad. You know what? I'm gonna say to be continued because I don't have a lot to talk about for Saturday's vlog because of that. So that was it. Technically, we started the game right at midnight. This last game started at midnight, so that's going to flow into Saturday's vlog. So to be continued on Saturday's vlog. I'm going to say goodnight here, and I'll see you in just a few minutes for tomorrow's vlog.